She says she wants someone who listens, someone who's present, someone who shows up. She says she wants love, connection, safety. And yet, the moment she finds someone who offers it, she sometimes pulls away, hesitates, questions it, or loses interest altogether. And the world says women are confusing. But maybe the confusion isn't in what she wants. Maybe it's in how we listen. Because beneath the surface of every word she says, there's something deeper, something older, something primal. And if you can understand that, if you can hear not just what she says, but what she feels, then everything begins to make sense. You stop chasing. You stop guessing. You stop trying to be what you think she wants. And you begin to see her, truly. So let's start here, with a question most men never ask out loud. What do women really want? Not on the surface, not in a checklist, but in their bones, in their breath, in the quiet ache behind their eyes. I've spent years studying this, not just through books, but through watching, listening, and feeling the energy behind relationships that thrive, and the ones that slowly fall apart. And here's the truth that no algorithm can teach you. What women really want is presence, but not just being in the same room. They want the kind of presence that makes them feel felt. The kind that doesn't just hear her words, but hears her pauses. The kind that notices the flicker in her eyes when she's holding something back. The kind that can sit in silence with her and still feel full. That kind of presence is rare because it requires more than attention. It requires attunement. And attunement only comes when a man isn't lost in his own performance. See, most men listen to respond. The rare ones listen to understand. But the rarest listen to feel. And when a woman feels felt, she softens. Her guard lowers. Her breath deepens. Because suddenly she's not just with a man who wants her, she's with a man who sees her. And that changes everything. But there's something else she wants, and it's not what you think. She wants to feel safe, not in the way the world often says, but in a much deeper way. She wants to feel safe to unravel, to be messy, to cry without being fixed, to speak without being analyzed, to express her wildness without being judged or tamed. She wants to know that she can bring all of herself to the table, not just the beautiful parts, but the chaos, the complexity, the contradictions. And when she feels that safety, she becomes magic. She glows differently. Not because you gave her something, but because you held something. You held space. And here's the paradox. She doesn't want a man who worships her. She wants a man who meets her as an equal, as a mirror, as a soul in motion. Someone who doesn't put her on a pedestal but walks beside her through the dark, the light, the beauty, the breakdown. But if you stop here, you'll miss it. Because the biggest misunderstanding about women is this. She doesn't want perfection. She wants truth, your truth. She wants to feel your edges, your fire, your anger when it's honest, your boundaries when they're rooted in love. She wants to know where you stand, even if it challenges her. Because what she craves is polarity. The tension between the masculine and the feminine. And polarity doesn't come from passivity. It comes from presence with direction. A man who holds her but doesn't lose himself in her. A man who listens but doesn't silence his own truth to keep the peace. A man who loves her fiercely but doesn't need her to feel whole. That man, that grounded, truthful, present man, is irresistible. Because he offers something so few can, a place where her feminine energy can dance freely, without having to lead. And yes, women can lead. They do it every day. In boardrooms, in homes, in crises. But what many women secretly long for in a partner is to relax, to rest, to surrender into the arms of someone they trust, not because he controls her, but because he carries himself. And here's the deeper twist. She doesn't just want to be desired, she wants to be chosen, not just for her body, or her beauty, or the way she laughs. She wants to be chosen for her mind, her values, her essence. She wants to know that your desire isn't just biological, it's intentional, that you see her clearly and you still choose her. Not out of loneliness, not out of habit, but out of depth. And when a woman feels chosen in that way, she becomes unstoppable. She gives more, loves deeper, radiates something ancient and sacred. Because she's not performing, she's receiving. And that is when the real relationship begins. Not a transaction, not a contract, but a living energy between two people who are fully awake in each other's presence. This is what she wants. But she may never say it in words. Because this knowing doesn't live in the mind, it lives in the body, in the heart, in the space between two breaths. And if you want to meet her there, you have to meet yourself first. Your fears, your longings, your resistance to being seen. You have to clear the noise of who you think you should be, so you can become who you truly are. That's the man she wants, not the nice guy, not the bad boy, the real one, the one who's done hiding, the one who can hold her storm, because he's already weathered his own. And here's where it gets even deeper. Because beneath all the questions about what women want is one final truth. She doesn't want to be the answer to your emptiness. She wants to amplify your fullness. She wants to walk beside a man who is already rooted in purpose, in presence, in peace. And when she finds him, she doesn't punish him. She opens, softens, blooms, because in him she doesn't just see a partner, she sees a home. But here's what most men don't realize. That home a woman seeks in a partner, it isn't built with grand gestures. It's built in micro moments. The way you look at her when she's speaking, not just waiting to talk, but truly absorbing her. The way you check in, not just with words, but with your energy. Is your presence really here, or are you somewhere else? The way you own your silence without needing to fill every space. The way you lead without overpowering. The way you challenge her without diminishing her. These are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of a safe, strong, unshakable connection. But the tragic truth, most men never get this far because they're so caught up in trying to figure her out. They forget to feel themselves first. They treat relationships like puzzles to solve instead of experiences to surrender into. They look for tactics, tricks, strategies, but what women want isn't hidden in some pickup line. It's hidden in your honesty, your willingness to drop the armor, to speak, not to impress, but to reveal, to stop acting like the protector of her feelings and start being the protector of your own integrity. That's where trust is born, because when a woman sees you speak from truth, even if it's uncomfortable, something in her settles. She may not agree with everything you say. She may challenge it, push back, ask for clarity, but deep down, she respects it. And respect is the seed of lasting attraction, because contrary to what many believe, love is not built on comfort. It's built on truthful tension. The kind of tension that stretches you, opens you, expands you. And a woman who is truly alive, she wants that expansion. She doesn't want a man who fits neatly into her preferences. She wants a man who helps her grow, who mirrors back her blind spots, who inspires her to rise. But here's where the story deepens even more. Many men try to be everything a woman wants, and in the process, they lose themselves. They silence their needs, numb their voice, shapeshift into whatever they think she's looking for. And at first, she might respond. She might enjoy the attention, the affection, the approval. But over time, she begins to feel it. The emptiness, the quiet resentment, the unspoken expectations. And she starts to pull away, not because she doesn't care, but because she can't feel you anymore. You became a mirror of her needs instead of a flame of your own. And here's the most haunting part. A woman can feel when you're giving love in order to be chosen. She can feel when your affection is a currency, not a gift. She can feel when you've made her the source of your worth. And the moment she feels that, the polarity dissolves. Not because you were too kind, but because you were unanchored. See, women want kindness, but not the kind that erases itself. They want generosity, but not at the cost of truth. They want love, but not love that's built on fear. What they truly want is presence and purpose. A man with direction, a man with depth, a man who can love her fully and still walk away if she disrespects him. Not out of ego, but out of self-respect. That's the kind of man who stays in her mind. That's the kind of man who haunts her memory in the most beautiful way. Because she didn't just feel loved by him. She felt safe to love him back. Because she could trust that his love was real, not conditional, not manipulative, not fragile. It was rooted, and rooted love is rare. But it's not complicated. It just requires you to stop chasing her and start being you. Not the version you think she wants, the version that is already whole, already full, already aligned. And from that place, your love is no longer a performance. It's a transmission. It's something she feels in her nervous system, not just hears in your words. It's something she doesn't have to analyze, because it resonates on a level beyond logic. And that's when the game changes, because now you're not trying to convince her to choose you. You're simply offering her the privilege of meeting you where you already are, in your stillness, in your power, in your quiet, unshakable truth. That's the man she can relax into. That's the man she opens up to, not just physically, but spiritually. Because now she's not falling for a role, she's falling for a reality.